Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Bidaya Screencast. Today we will discuss Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is the short vowel marks on all of the alphabet. It includes Fatha, Kasra, and Dhamma. You can see we included a map for the student's encouragement, as well as so the student knows where he or she stands and how close they are to, inshallah, reading the Quran. Lesson 3 discusses the Fatha, which is the vowel mark on top of the letter. Most lessons will begin with all of the alphabet drawn with the vowel. For example, in this case it is Fatha. And beneath all of the letters we have the boxes that the instructor can use when explaining. Each box refers to a certain line. For example, the first box will be used when explaining two-letter words. So the instructor would use this box to explain line 1. Also, the instructor will use box 2, which includes three-letter word, to explain lines 2, 3, and 4. And the final box with four-letter words can be used to explain line 5. As we begin with lesson 3 and chapter 2 in general, the student will no longer identify letters by their names, but the student will pronounce them with the given vowel or the sound that the letter should make. For example, we no longer say mim, we say ma, na, ha, and so forth for the rest of the alphabet. When teaching the first line of this lesson, the teacher can use the spelling form of teaching for the student if necessary. For example, if the student cannot directly say ba, da, the teacher will split the word in half for the student, and the student will say, for example, ba, fatha, ba, dal, fatha, da, ba, da. And in this way, students will spell out each word before reading it. However, once we move to the second line, spelling is no longer acceptable, and the teacher should teach the student to split the word into syllables. For example, for three-letter words, we will split it into two letters and then the third letter by itself. For example, na, fa, nafa, kha, na, fa, kha. As we move to four-letter words, the student will associate the letters two at a time. Kha, la, khala, qa, ka, qaka, khala, qaka, and so forth. It's very important to note that the student should not make the mistake, which is common among students, of stopping on the final letter in these words with sukun. For example, dhahaba should not be pronounced as dhahab, or daraba should not be pronounced as darab. Something else to take note of in this lesson is the use of the illustrations of the hand. We'll be using these throughout chapter 2 to explain Fatha, Kasra, and Dhamma, and this is an alternative form of teaching the student. If the student associates, for example, with Fatha, a straight hand with a forward motion, whenever we make the noise of Fatha, for example, the with a forward motion of the hand. In this way, the student will know the Fatha by listening and pronouncing, as well as moving his or her hand if necessary. As usual, the student can refer to Bidaya flashcards as well as the Bidaya workbook and website for additional help and practice, and the instructor can refer to the teacher's manual for more help. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum.